Hello.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you so well. Loud and clear.
Lucky me.
Lucky me.
Oh, it's another Friday. It's another show day.
It's funny how the days go by so quickly and the weeks end so quickly, and yet it seems like no time has passed, and yet also as if 100 years have passed in the last 2 months. Isn't it odd?
It's a strange phenomenon. And this show lasts forever. It seems like it just goes on and on and on.
Oh, I like the show though.
I love it.
You wanna do the show?
Let's do the show.
All right.
Cheers.
I'm just
Toast
I'm
each
just
other.
pulling up the I'm pulling up the comments because I like to see the comments go by. 100 years have passed in the last two
Oh,
months. Uh-oh. Isn't it odd? Sorry, there's a brief temporal anomaly.
mm.
All right. Greetings, everybody. We see your names in the comment feed. We see Tim and Melissa and Matt and Katie and Eve and Mike and Sarah and other Mike and Carrie. If you're just tuning in, please let us know where you're tuning in from because we do love to see all the different places where you are.
Yes, and if you have any pressing, burning questions, please ask away.
Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to query us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, welcome to the 11th edition of the Charming Disaster Quarantine live stream here in the ether, in nowhere in particular. It is our
11 weeks.
11 weeks.
Wow,
That's a number of weeks.
sure is.
If you're just joining us for the first time, this is a donation-based concert, which means that if you have the ability to donate, we sure appreciate your support. And if you do not have the ability to donate, then this is our gift to you.
Yes, and thank you to all of those who've been showing up week after week, or even just one week, one of the 11 weeks. It's just been great to have everyone join us in this mad little show.
It does. It makes us feel less alone, and that really means a lot.
So true.
Well, shall we begin with a divination?
Oh, yes. Let me just get the run-up show up going so I can see.
The first item in the agenda is the divination.
Let's do it.
All right. We have drawn a tarot card to inform us of the theme of this week's show. And this week is brought to us by the King of Cups.
King of Cups.
What do you think about this King of Cups?
It's someone who likes to imbibe in a drink, but is very responsible and can keep their emotions very even.
He seems authoritative, and I'm curious about what's in that cup.
Yes. And under that fancy hat.
Sure. And then what is he holding in his hand?
Looks like a meat tenderizer or some sort of potato masher.
I think it's like a musical instrument of some kind.
Perhaps some kind of divining rod of electromagnetic importance.
That seems likely.
Hmm.
Well, anyway, welcome from the King of Cups. Shall we drink a little toast to our audience, our darling disasters out there in the ether?
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's fun. What are you drinking?
It's Grandma's Garters.
Grandma's Garters.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
What are you drinking?
this must be Grandpa's Jewels.
Oh, that's slightly alarming. All right, well, cheers to you all. We have a request to make of you. If you're watching on Facebook, if you would just go up to the share arrow and share that on your timeline to help proliferate this show, and your friends can watch us as well. We would appreciate it. And if you have questions that come to you as we're performing, just put them in the comments, and we'll do our best as we go on. I think it's my turn to start with a song.
Yeah, my question to you is, will you please play a song?
In a dreamy little swindle where the strangler fig holds sway, they made the queen a prisoner and they took her crown away. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. She's locked inside her palace where she sits and sews all day, in a skirt of downy feathers and a yellow-colored lei. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. Now she plies her needle to embroider every bird on a quilt of silk and satin that will cover up the world. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. There will come a moment when a wave will wash away all the saints and all the strangers, it might even be today. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu. Oh, 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 oh. When we meet, we'll touch our noses and we'll breathe each other in. And the breeze is full of sunshine and the sunshine on our skin. Oh, oh, ah, oh, ah, oh, 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 ah, oh, ah. You can gather up the idols, you can throw them in a fire, you can burn them into cinders, but the ancient gods don't die. Oh, oh, ah, oh, Oahu. Oh, 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 ah, oh, Oahu.
You know, it's so hard not to sing along.
I know that is the sing-along. Yeah, it's weird to do that without asking the audience to do a sing-along. Also, I forgot to like do the historical introduction to that song
Yeah,
to
what
give
was
it
that song about?
context. So, I mean, it's probably obvious by now, but that song was inspired by some of the history of Hawaii. The last queen of Hawaii, Queen Liliuokalani, was imprisoned by the United States government when the U.S. colonized Hawaii. She was locked inside her own palace, where she was basically under house arrest for a long time. And among other things, she was such an interesting person. She was a musician, she was a composer, and she wrote music that everybody knows, including the song Aloha Oe. Like that was hers. She wrote that, and like people sing it all over the world to this day. But yeah, she was a ukulele player. Ukulele, of course, is a Hawaiian instrument. And I actually visited her palace a few years after I wrote that song, which was inspired by Sarah Vowell's very excellent book about the history of Hawaii, which is called Strange Fishes. I think it's called Strange Fishes. And I got to see the quilt. So like that's what she did while she was locked under house arrest. She made this like crazy quilt out of her like gowns and stuff, and she embroidered birds and plants and flowers and like names and dates and like words, and it's this gorgeous piece of like outsider art. Like she wasn't trained to create visual artworks, and so it's very personal, it's very human. And it was such a cool thing to see it and to like imagine the time that it must have taken somebody to make these like intricate stitches in it to make all the images. Really cool. So that song's called Oahu, and it was released on Sweet Soubrette's album Big Celebrity, which was released in 2016.
Excellent.
So we have a request in the comments, and we want to give a big happy birthday shout out to rat children Jean Parmesan and George Michael. Those are good names for rats. Happy first birthday, Jean Parmesan and George Michael.
Congratulations, you've made it this far.
May you live for another 100 years.
Rat children.
Rat children. Some people have children, some people have rat children.
Yeah, some people just have rats.
Now, someone in the peanut gallery asked, what is a grandma's garters? What is in a grandma's garters, my cocktail of the evening? And the answer is the last of the old Overholt rye and this like piece of dried blood orange, which gives it a little je ne sais quoi. That's what's in a grandma's garters. You can only make it with the last bit of whiskey in the bottle. It doesn't sound appetizing. Like no, it's good.
Grandpa's jewels. But I'm glad you're drinking. I'm glad we're drinking.
I'm just lubricating the pipes. It's for therapeutic reasons. And I also want to give a shout out to Virginia Scary and her little darklings.
Little scaries.
We love you, little scaries.
We miss you guys.
So, do you want to play a song maybe as well?
I would love to play a song. And since you chose Oahu, I'm going to play this song called Hawaii, which I wrote. It's a
What?
Kotorino song. It's a Kotorino song, which I was inspired by Caroline Ritson, who joined the band, and she played musical saw in Kotorino. And it was just, I noticed the way, I noticed the way people were looking at her, and I imagined that people fell for her. She wasn't even aware and had no interest in them. And this was based on that imagined circumstance. So here we go. This is for Caroline. Doo doo. To have plans and places to be, used to make fights. Sorry, I used to pick fights with people I meet. All I was washed out to sea when your eyes washed over me. On dry land, I crawled to my feet. Hold my hand, Hawaii. On dry land, I crawl to my feet. Hold my hand, Hawaii. Hawaii. The blanket of your flowers over. Pull the blanket of your flowers over. Pull the blanket of your flowers over. Pull the blanket of your oceans over my shoulder. Right on my hand, the things I'm to do. Get coffee, milk, and flowers for you. Seagulls, they cry, and I feel the same way. You shade your eyes and look at the waves. On dry land, I crawl to my feet. Hold my hand, Hawaii. On dry land, I crawl to my feet. Hold my hand, Hawaii. Hawaii. Hawaii.
That was so nice.
Brings back memories.
It's so relaxing.
It is. I listened to the recording for the first time in a long time, and it's so much slower than I remember it.
Isn't that always how it goes with recordings, though? Like, you record the songs when they're kind of young in their life, and then eventually, by the time the album actually comes out, you've gotten so much better at playing the songs that, like, they're, like, way faster.
Exactly.
So, yeah, the saw, people have been asking about it, and so I thought it was time to break it out.
Yeah, the saw.
Is that the saw that you recorded those saw parts on the recording?
Yes.
The very same saw. So that was like an authentic solo for matching recording.
Yeah, it scared me a little bit. I just saw your little picture there, like coming in at me with a sharp object. It's not unfamiliar, but
Well, don't be afraid.
you
It
say
won't
that.
hurt much.
You say that.
It's for your own good.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you have gangrene, you just need to, like, let it go. I'm ready. I'm ready to do battlefield surgery.
I'm glad we're still socially distant.
You're glad?
I'm glad.
I'm glad you're glad.
I don't have gangrene, and
Oh,
but
yeah, I'm glad that you don't
I
have
just
gangrene.
don't want to test that out. Anyway,
Mm,
but well played. It sounded good.
thank you. You know, every saw has its own particular timbre. Really, each one has its own voice.
No, it's quite true.
So, in an alternate universe, we would be on tour right now.
Mm-hmm.
And today was going to be a very special day. Today was the beginning of Abs Fest. Abs Fest is the Americana Burlesque and Sideshow Festival. It's produced by our friend Madame Onsa, who, if you've been watching this show for the last 8 million weeks, she was one of our first special
First guest, yeah.
Special guest, yeah, in April. And this show, I just want to explain to everybody what this show was gonna be like. This show was everything that I've spent my life working toward, really. So this show, there was gonna be a different burlesque or sideshow performer performing a new original act to one of our songs, accompanied live by us. But wait, there's more, because also the whole show was going to be a paranormal investigation. That was the narrative was somebody's been murdered and this is how we figure it out. Mm-hmm. And a lot of planning went into it and a lot of excitement and then, the pandemic. So we're all hoping and putting positivity out there that Abs Fest will be resurrected phoenix-like from the ashes for next year, for 2021. And as a token, as a gesture of that faith, Madame Onsa sent me this button. This is the Abs Fest 2020 logo. So this is a little talisman that we can all think to.
Maybe we all died and this is some weird kind of purgatory. And this is a paranormal investigation that we have to do.
The irony.
Did you think of that?
I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. Well, maybe we should conduct a seance and see if any living people answer.
Yeah, see.
Yeah. Tune in next week.
Oh, yes. That's a good idea. We could do that. We could broadcast that.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe some more music?
Yeah. Play some music.
Oh, there's some questions, though. Let's see. We missed some questions. Melissa asks, Ellie, will you ever do Devil's Moon on one of these? And the answer to that is probably not, because Devil's Moon requires a piano, and I have no piano here. If we get to the next stage of this where there's a studio, maybe we would do where there's a piano. Maybe I would do that. But also, between you and me, that song is really hard to play. Yeah. Do you want to take any questions from the peanut gallery?
Let's wait. Let's wait till post song. What song are you gonna play?
I'm gonna do a cover. This is a Magnetic Fields cover. It's called Old Orchard Beach, and I think of this song every time I drive up to visit my parents or to go to where I grew up in Westchester, because there's an orchard beach in the Bronx, and it's a song about nostalgia and going out dancing, and it just seems kind of right.
I believe you learned to drive in that parking lot.
Oh, I did learn to drive in the Orchard
Beach parking lot. Yes, I also learned to drive in that.
I know, it's all my dad being like, okay, look in your mirrors, tell me what you see in your mirrors. I'd be like, there's definitely some kind of drug deal going down. He'd be like, great, shady. You can back it out.
It was pretty shady. All right,
here I go. I know some part of you. That's wrong. Is there some part of you, tail or hunchback, that when they cut it off grew back? You were a little girl with starry eyes. Now you're a sad young man and no one knows why. When we go dancing underneath the city in the catacombs, when we go dancing, the strobe lights and the disco will bring us home.
Old Orchard Beach is where we belong. You can go back, but baby, that won't make you young. The wind will blow, or it won't. The stars come out, or they don't. The world goes round, or we get thrown into the sky. When we go dancing underneath the city in the catacombs, when we go dancing, the strobe lights and the disco will bring us home.
That's it. It just ends.
That's it. It just ends.
Mm-hmm. Leaving you with a lingering sense of nostalgia, I guess.
Wanting
more.
I know you've played that in the car a few times while we were on tour.
It's one of my favorites.
It's a good one. It's a good one. All right, there's some questions here that people have been dying to know the answers to.
All right, why don't you take a couple?
Well, it's not really a question. Stradivarius only made 3 musical saws. Maybe this is one of them.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. I don't think they sell Stradivarius at Crest Hardware, but...
Oh, did this come from Crest Hardware?
It did.
It doesn't say Stradivarius on it. It says Wentworth.
Wentworth.
Yeah.
English.
Wentworth, yeah. Also a fine musical saw maker.
Yes, Wentworth, well known.
Oh, here's a question for the audience.
Yes.
Does anybody know what the handle part of a musical saw is called? There's a name for the part that you hold with your hand.
No searching the internet. No checking the internet. Someone comments, if we did all die, and this is a purgatory, why do I still have to go to my hellhole of a job?
That's a good question.
It's part of the purgatory hell part.
Yeah. Yeah, if you didn't have to go to your hellhole of a job, it wouldn't be purgatory.
Yeah. Right?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the metaphysical content that we've promised you.
Mm-hmm. People are dying to know.
Literally.
What else we have? Sorry, we're not playing Ragnarok this time, but perhaps in future times.
Perhaps in a future time.
Thank you, Mike, for asking.
Oh, somebody asks, Elliot, can you explain your tattoos? Well, I can't.
Didn't we do this last time?
It's a popular question. I can't because, as far as I know, there is no explanation for them. I wasn't born with them, but not long after I was born, my parents noticed a strange dappling across my infant self's chest, and over time, they darkened, much like the spots of a cheetah or a leopard cub. Cheetahs and leopards are not born spotted, but the spots kind of develop over time. And at first, they were concerned that it was some kind of fungus or parasitic infection, but my health continued to be unblemished otherwise, and I grew into a strapping, the strapping grown person that you see today. So we're still not sure what they're for, but I assume that at some point it'll become obvious.
I see. I didn't realize that. So does that mean you'll get more spots as you get older?
Yes.
I mean, that's happening to me, but not in such a pretty pattern.
I think you should play another song, but before you do,
yeah,
I want to remind everybody once again. Oh, do you want to put up the image on screen for the thing I'm about to say?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. This is a donation-based concert, and if you are able to support our music and this weekly show through your donation through Venmo or PayPal or by buying a virtual ticket, we are deeply appreciative of that. And if you'd rather get something for your donation. We also have lots of fun music and merch available on our Bandcamp page, and I'm gonna show off a few of my favorite items. So this is our newest item. It's a bandana. It says "Charming Disaster" on it. It's pretty thin, so you're gonna want to,
It's like a veil. It's almost like a veil.
It's a lot like a veil. Like I can pretty much see through it right now, but it's it's a good look.
It's a good look.
So there's two bandana designs. We also have this the showgirl sheet music for ukulele and guitar. So if you've been practicing your instrument at home during this quarantine, we can offer you some material.
With real notes.
Real notes. We made it ourselves, and the artist Carolyn Raship provided the gorgeous cover art. We also have vinyl records. If you've been busting out your turntable, we have Spells and Rituals on vinyl, and I love sending those out in the mail to new homes. It's like having a litter of kittens and like seeing them well placed.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got other stuff too. We've got t-shirts and stickers and all kinds of musical options. So check out the Bandcamp if you don't already have everything, and we're gonna put some more stuff there in the coming weeks, but not quite yet. Thus ends my donation, my donation and merchandise pitch.
All right. Well, since you did Orchard Beach, I thought I would do a Kotorino song related to water, called East River Ferry Waltz, which when we first started rehearsing together, we had taken the ferry a few times, and I think this was inspired by those trips across the East River.
We wrote this together, though. I mean, this is kind of a hybrid Kotorino Charming Disaster song.
That's true. That is true.
All right, take it away.
How does it go? Oh, yes. Walk with me for a while, past the parking lot where the boats glide by. As the sun settles down on the Upper West Side, we'll leave solid ground behind. Put our faces to the wind, tell stories and secrets of lovers and friends, or say nothing at all. To the East River Ferry Walls, East River Ferry Walls, East River Ferry Walls, East River Ferry Walls. Queen softly snores. She's gotta wake up for work in the morning. Manhattan's a drunken mess, passed out in her silver potted dress. As we bump into Brooklyn shore, we'll stumble like drunkards across the floor, with a step 2 3, step 2 3, step 2 3, turn. Step 2 3, step 2 3, step 2 3, turn. To the East River Ferry Walls, East River Ferry Walls, East River Ferry Walls, East River Ferry Walls. When the seas rise again, never to come back down, we'll sail between tall buildings where we used to work uptown, and an orchestra of seagulls will be the only sound. We'll turn to face each other. to the East River Ferry Waltz. East River Ferry Waltz. East River Ferry Waltz. East River Ferry Waltz. Well, the wind can blow good things to you, but the tide will pull it away. Let's treasure this time between us two with the intimate lopsided sway of the East River Ferry Waltz. East River Ferry Waltz. East River Ferry Waltz. East River Ferry Waltz.
I remember the East River Ferry Waltz.
It's no longer called the East River Ferry.
I know.
Called something else.
It was never really a waltz. Anyway.
Oh, it was. It was. Yes, that is on Kotorino's second album. What is that called? Better Than This.
Better Than This.
Better Than This. So that was fun. So that's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, that boat, I get those like New York City updates, and you're only supposed to take that ferry for emergency reasons or essential reasons right now.
And or if you're going to the underworld.
Well, sure. I mean, how else are you going to get to the underworld?
It is an emergency if you're going to the underworld.
I mean, I guess you could like dig a hole or something. There are a few different routes.
It's much easier.
It's much more pleasant,
It's
you know, with like the wind in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to pay the ferryman something.
Yeah, you just a couple coins, drink tickets if you got them. He loves drink tickets.
I got a lot of drink tickets, as we learned.
All right, Adrastia comments. You know what, we need another PSA. I love your PSAs. I have no idea what you'd even do it on. Maybe how not to go nuts in your house, but we need it. Thank you so much for those kind words on our public service announcement videos, which we have been creating since the very beginning of Charming Disaster. What are all the PSAs we've done so far? We've done
Go bag,
makeup, first aid.
Yeah. How to survive in the winter.
Oh yeah, winter survival. Surveillance. Self-care.
Self-care. ASMR.
That wasn't really a PSA.
What? I think it was.
It was similar to a PSA, but it was all in ASMR. And we did do one on safety during the coronavirus times.
That's right.
But if we were to make another PSA, do share your suggestions in the comments, because perhaps it is time for another public service announcement.
Yeah. What
to the public? What service can we offer
to the public?
To the public.
We're here. We're public servants, actually.
Announcing. Yeah. You want to bring on our guest? Maybe it's time.
I would love to. I think it's time.
All right, we have a very, very special guest tonight, and we're going to summon him in just a moment. Kellfire is a master of sartorial splendor, mustachery, absinthe expertise. He's also a thereminist.
So
please, Kellfire, if you are out there in the ether, please join us. Join us here. Behold!
Hello.
Oh, we hear you.
Hello.
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 Greetings from the ether.
Greetings.
Good to see you, Kellfire.
You too. Yes, just here waiting to enjoy some absinthe.
Tell us,
Yes.
tell us about your cocktail. What are you drinking there?
Well, usually, normally, like I do absinthe, uh, lecture. I'm part of an absinthe event called the Green Ferry at the Red Room. That's a monthly uh, monthly absinthe celebration that was it it's been going on for almost 4 years now at the Red Room bar above the KGB bar in the Lower East or in the East Village, and so ever since the horror began, we've become the screen fairy at the Red Room because it's going into cyberspace.
That's where we live now.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Our own little corner of cyberspace. And it's pretty fun. It's still amazing performances, and yeah. But yeah, so I do the historical lecture and absinthe demo of the proper continental pour, because a lot of people they'll get absinthe and they don't know how to pour it, because it's best with a certain ratio of ice cold water. So I'll demonstrate here.
Please.
Please.
And this our friend Siri gave us this pea flowers that you steep in water like tea, and then you can make blue water. It's like almost an indigo.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah. And so and then I had the idea to add it to absinthe, because in the proper continental pour, you have water and ice water and absinthe, and so that's this in an antique cup that we got in France. So you take 1 part absinthe. It's usually an ounce to an ounce and a half in a tall glass, such as this, lovely. And then you take ice cold water. So you take 1 part absinthe, 3 to 5 parts ice water. And so that's what I have here, ice cold water, and no sugar, no fire. Sugar is like optional. I would say don't do it at first. But definitely no fire. And if anybody says that's traditional, smack them and tell them I said you can do that. Because it's not. It's something they made up in Prague.
Barbarians.
Exactly. So you take your 1 part absinthe and your 3 to 5 parts ice cold water, and you pour it slowly into your tall glass. And what was once a clear greenish emerald liquid usually it becomes a lovely white opalescent liquid. But since I put the pea flower into, yes, PEA, not PEE, and that's another thing,
That's a rookie mistake.
Yeah, but in a pinch, like if you're underground or something, it'll work. We all might be, But anyway, so it becomes this incredibly weird looking violet concoction, and it's lovely. And the pea flower just colors the water. It doesn't make it taste any different. So yeah, this is a internet first.
It's so beautiful. Can we cheers?
Yeah. Oh, cheers! Definitely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers! Clink. Yeah. So I'm going to say one of the good things about the theremin is that when you're not playing it, it becomes a lovely bar.
That is an advantage. You can't do that with most instruments. In fact, they yell at you if you put your drinks on most instruments.
Yeah, I'll probably get yelled at for doing this, but
So we are very excited to hear your theremin, but first, I was hoping that you might you might weigh in on Jeff's mustache because you
yeah.
have a pretty magnificent mustache, and we've been giving the people a mustache report every week, and they're clamoring for the mustache report. We thought it would be nice if perhaps you would help with that.
Oh,
Well,
definitely.
You are a mustache, hero of mine.
Oh, thank you. Go, please go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, what type of, do you use some sort of wax? I'm not there yet at the curling up part, but I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. It's you're gonna have a spectacular one. I can assure you that. Just just seeing the amount of hair that's coming out now, it's when it gets longer, it's going to be pretty wonderful. Unfortunately, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying I've been using Tiger Balm to curl my mustache.
Fragrant.
Ooh,
Is that wrong?
spicy? It doesn't hold very well.
No.
Like I've tried, like when I forget waxes, like if I'm going out and I'm like, yeah, awesome, and I'm like, oh shit, my mustache, and I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. And then I'm like, fuck, I forgot my wax. Then
do.
yeah, I've used I've tried like lip balm, doesn't work.
Okay.
Crayons doesn't work. Yeah, because you have to heat them up and then you burn your fingers and and you just have crayons in your mustache.
This is so educational. I think like do's and don'ts of mustache wax. Don't chapstick. Don't crayons.
Yeah, and go ahead, please.
No, you've saved me a lot of time and heartache, I think.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you use?
I use a medium weight wax that my friend John Martinko makes.
Mhm.
You might I don't know if you've ever met him at like one of our parties or seen him Rose's Instagram feed or something. He has like incredibly long mustache. And,
Jonathan Mustache.
Yes, exactly.
I know him.
Yeah, and so yeah, he makes like unbelievable amounts of wax, and he's just like, oh, here's 5 pounds of it, and I'm like, awesome. And so when the time comes, I can see if I can score you some.
Thank you. That would be great. Most helpful. I have another question for you. Are you on fire? Is there something burning? Hellfire.
Yes. No. That's our smoke machine died a couple of weeks ago, and so I've had to resort to burning some Palo Santo to give it the proper ambiance.
Well, you know what they say.
Yeah.
Any machine can be a smoke machine once.
That's a good one. I think that's
That's really helpful. I feel like the listeners are really getting a lot of useful information this week for the show.
And I think that's the debut of smoke machine related humor.
Katie Camille,
it's a
I
night
have
of
that
first.
joke to thank.
I think this has been really productive. Also, when back to absinthe for a minute, I feel like I deserve some credit for not making the absinthe makes the heart grow fonder joke.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
You just lost her.
I didn't know it. I referred to it, but I didn't actually make the joke.
Yeah, it's it's one of those. There's also that other one that's like, I wish I could remove from my ever having seen it. That like that dude bros say, or that people want dude bros to say. But in it
What?
It's very similar to what you said, but it refers to a part of male genitalia, and it's like you come looking
The
through
pincers?
what?
The pincers?
Yes, exactly. Yes, absinthe makes the pincers bigger, or something like that. Yeah. But
I don't have pincers.
What?
Yeah. Well, drink more absinthe. That's what I say.
All right.
Yeah.
Not drinking enough absinthe.
Yeah, exactly. It'll you'll discover that you have pincers, and
Well, on that note, perhaps it's time to transition to the theremin part of our program.
Yes, please.
All right, we're going to give you the spotlight. And please, everyone, attend to Kellfire.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to play the first Nasian from Eric Satie, or something like that. Which I just learned that I thought it was Lent, for Lent, and it's Lent, which means slow. Yeah, in French. I never knew that. Okay. Thank you. That was a good time.
Oh, amazing.
Cyrus
Thank
music.
you.
That was mesmerizing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kellfire. Henchperson Dan, I think, is sharing your links with our public so that they can find you and what you're doing in the
Yeah.
future.
And is
Okay.
tonight is it tonight that people can request songs for your Saturday show?
Yes.
How does that work?
That's a funny thing you'd bring up theremin roulette. Yeah, theremin roulette is a little thing that I started to practice, practice theremin during, this horror. And, so I turned it into a little show, which is on Instagram Live, basically like Friday night, I put out the word for people to give me song requests, and I put together a playlist and learn as much of it as I can, and then play it Saturday night. And it started out just like being like a few songs, and now it's like 2 hours of theremin madness, where it's basically I just like put on some records, well, Spotify records, and and just play theremin over them. It's very very lo-fi, very sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's a good time.
It's down home.
Yeah, exactly.
So cool. One of our viewers asks, how did you get into this? Into the theremin?
Into the theremin. Like everybody, I heard it and was instantly like, but it's a bit of a learning curve to get into it, to become, it's kind of like playing the violin or something, or the musical saw, or
Sure.
or the guitar, or any, it's like any instrument, it's like, but it's really annoying at first, because it's like basically just like, and so, but like I took an online class with Dorit Chrysler, and who's like one of the top thereminists in the universe, and and then started training with Cornelius Loy, who's locally here in New York. Dorit is as well, but she travels all over the world. And when we did our first lesson, she was in Paris, I believe, or somewhere in France, and so the internet connection was really spotty, and it was a little pardon me for a moment.
So sacred smoke.
Yeah.
I actually have a theremin story. I remember.
You do?
Yeah.
Do
So,
tell.
well, okay. So my grandmother's oldest sister, Lucille, was a showgirl in New York City. She's not the showgirl that our song "Showgirl" is inspired by, because that was Jeff's great aunt, Alice. But Lucille was a Ziegfeld showgirl. She was a knockout. And
nice.
she, and when she was like an ancient tiny matriarch, she would tell me about her costumes with the feathers and the spangles. And she was in the Follies, and she married one of her stage door Johnnies, as they called them. And he was this guy. He was known by the family as, his nickname was Whitey, but his name was Boyd Zinman. And he was a stockbroker on the stock exchange in the late 20s. He kind of escaped the crash, but like he was this like successful stockbroker guy. But his real passion was the nightlife, which is how he met Lucille. And he was this incredible stride piano player. Like he could play like nobody's business. And he liked to go out to nightclubs. Like that was his thing. And so one night he saw Leon Theremin perform.
Oh my goodness.
And was like yourself, was like, that is a cool thing. But unlike yourself, he thought to himself, that would make a great burglar alarm technology. And so they founded I forget what the name of the company was, but like it was him and Theremin and like this other guy, and their main line was like burglar alarms that utilized the technology. And They were not successful. Eventually, theremin like absconded back to Europe, penniless. I mean, like he was like there was like a whole history. So and when he left, it transpired that the schematics that he had left them were like useless, and so they did make a few theremin instruments as well. But the company was like a total failure.
Do you know where they ended up? Like they're not in like somebody's attic. You know?
The schematics, I don't know. There's a book about it that talks about like Boyd and Lucille a little bit and theremin, and I'd be happy to share that link with you.
That sounds fascinating. Yeah, that could be like a lifetime biodrama or something.
I would imagine as a burglar alarm, I would just be unsettled by someone breaking into my house.
Well, so what I read, it was like a suitcase with like a motion sensor on it, and like you could leave it in your living room, and if you walked by it, it would just start like making this really loud alarm sound, and you couldn't turn it off unless you like had the combination or something. Yeah, it sounds really annoying.
Yeah, totally. That sounds awesome.
So yeah, that's my family connection to your instrument.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, and thank you for sharing it. That I like that. I mean, theremin, came across the theremin, because he was working on like radar, technology.
Right.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh wow, that's interesting." And,
that's creepy.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. And so then, here we are today, listening to, a glorified burglar alarm.
Glorified burglar alarm. Well, as it happens, Jeff and I long ago composed a piece that is for your glorified burglar alarm and slide guitar and musical saw, and never until now have we had the opportunity to perform it. And so we thought this would be a nice moment to give the people a rare taste of this very
sliding pitch composition, aleatory pitches. Let's see. You remember it, Kelly, right?
Yeah.
We practiced this a long time.
For like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, it was
at the conservatory.
At the conservatory. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Take that, burglar.
Take that.
Yeah. Oh, that was lovely. I think that
was the first time the Burglar Symphony has been performed publicly.
Nice.
That was the best we've ever played it.
Yeah, that's definitely the best we've ever played it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if good old Professor Melman could hear us now.
Yeah, Professor Melman.
Yeah. Take that.
Take that, Professor Melman. All right, Kellfire, it's been such a pleasure to play with you. We're going to send you back into the strange abyss from whence you came.
Okay.
Electromagnetic field. Where you...
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And happy World Goth Day.
Happy World
Goth Day to you.
Yes.
But okay, so I'm going to try and conjure myself out of here.
All right, and everybody else can find you on Instagram tomorrow night for the theremin roulette.
Yeah, you can go there tonight and request a song. Cool. Up in my Instagram stories.
Great.
Up there,
Yeah, I recommend people, and it is World Goth Day, so
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So keep it spooky.
Keep it spooky.
Dark. Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
All right. Bye. Happy tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
I think we should celebrate World Goth Day like that every year.
Every day is World Goth Day.
Every day is World Goth Day. It's true.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of goths,
Yes.
you know the head of the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey,
Yeah.
in San Francisco? He was a card-carrying theremin player.
What?
Musicians Union, yes.
Huh.
Just bringing it all together.
So everything's connected in a web. There's a plan behind this. Somehow.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be. Can you tell? Do you know what I'm thinking? Guess what? Can you guess what I'm thinking?
Wait a minute. I have an idea.
Okay.
Is it time for our mentalism act?
I think that was what I was thinking.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready to just be totally transparent and have my mind read.
Okay. All right. So I want you to clear your mind. Take a deep breath.
It's clear. It's
Take a deep breath. Just, you're floating in this experience. All right. Now I want you to tell me
with my mind.
with your mind your favorite element, the atomic mass of your favorite element.
Like in the periodic table or like earth, air, fire, water?
Periodic table.
Okay.
Atomic mass, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to pick one. I mean, like, what's like your favorite?
Yeah. I'm gonna write it down on this card.
Okay.
But just when you're clear.
All right. No, I know what it is. It's
Okay.
Okay.
Obviously.
Kind of, yeah.
Obviously. Okay. Okay. Now, what animal would you like to be reincarnated as? Reincarnated as what animal? Think.
I feel like to make this more challenging for you, everybody listening should also think of the animal that they would like to be reincarnated as, just to like test your precision. I mean, I know what mine is.
I mean, I'm kind of new to this, but okay,
all right.
Sure, go ahead. Have everyone else think of the animal that they would like to be reincarnated as, but I'm just going to focus on you.
Yeah, just focus on me.
Okay.
Okay.
You thinking of it?
Oh, I'm thinking of it. I'm always thinking of it.
All right, I think I'm getting a shape.
I'm always thinking of it because, like, what if that's the thing that decides it? Like, the moment of your expiration, the animal you happen to be thinking of is the one that you get to be. So I've just always got it kind of in the top of my mind.
All right, I know you're thinking, but just project your thoughts a little bit clearer. I'm getting some shapes. I'm getting a color.
Okay.
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 Okay. What else? Something that only you would know. What did you have for breakfast today? I'm getting something.
Can you sense what I'm sending you?
Smells good. Weird.
Not weird.
It's weird.
No, it's the best.
All right. Weird breakfast. I mean, I've had that for breakfast, I guess. Okay. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. I'm going to fold up this card.
Okay.
Fold it, seal it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a one-of-a-kind card.
Mm-hmm.
No other. So I'm going to give it to you, and
Okay.
you're going to hold it. Fold it up.
Okay.
And tell the audience what you thought.
Okay.
Ready? You want
Yeah, hand it to me.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So. Wait. Don't wait.
What?
You have to announce what it is first.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Right. That makes sorry,
Right.
I don't sorry. I'm new to this.
Come on.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to announce the three things that I wrote.
Yeah.
What was
Okay.
it?
So my favorite element of the periodic table
Yeah.
is obviously radium. with an atomic mass of 266.
266.
And the animal that I want to be reincarnated as is a cat, obviously, because, like, who wouldn't want to have that life of leisure and luxury and having people just wait on you hand and foot, and you can just, like, shove things off the furniture whenever you want, and everybody still loves you. And I had pie for breakfast.
Behold.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for the pie. All right, let's see how you did.
Show the good people.
That is remarkable.
Thank you.
Wow, that is... Your mentalism skills have really improved.
Yeah, so's my drawing.
Yeah, that's a really good cat. Look at that.
It's a side effect of mentalism. When you're just asked to draw a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, the pie is not as good at drawing, but the cat is really good.
You know, there was a lot of static from the peanut gallery out there.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to, like, learn how to deal with as a mentalist.
Yeah.
So.
I thought I did pretty well. Thank you.
All right, well, we're over time. I mean, I don't mind. I hope they don't mind. It's Friday night after all, and we're all in quarantine. So what else are we gonna do?
What else are you gonna do?
But we are drawing toward the end of our show tonight, and we've got one more song left to play for them. This will be a duet, and we're going to dedicate this one to Henchperson Dan. Thank you, Henchperson Dan, and thank you all of you for being with us. And oh look, it's Henchperson
there
Dan.
he is.
Back with ye, back into the abyss.
Who is that mysterious figure?
Thank you all of you so much for joining us for this. We love playing music for you and all of the other things. Anyway. In the dirigible gondola, the clouds fog up your monocle. You wipe it with a handkerchief embroidered with a monogram. Looking for lost continents, you'd better check your pocket watch. We won't be home for luncheon, but they'll keep the platters warm.
Not as sharp as glass,
Above the
not as strong as stone,
Here's experiment.
not as sharp as glass.
Flesh and blood will never last.
Baby's got a heart of brass. Underneath the diving bell, return to the submersible before the lonely Nautilus can wrap you in its tentacle, moistening your handkerchief to polish your discovery. The needle of the compass doesn't point to any north.
Not as pure as gold,
Captive of the scientist,
not as sharp as glass,
practiced her experiments.
not as strong as stone.
Flesh and blood will never last.
Baby's got a heart of brass.
Quince space lace with laudanum will get you through the tedium. What?
Of waiting to be rescued from inside the sanitarium.
The esoteric brotherhood suspect you're up to nothing good. The ampule in your handkerchief will put them all to sleep.
We're all some kind of machine.
We're only cogwheels, pistons and steam.
All of us powered by water and heat.
It makes our tick-tock hearts beat, 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 beat.
Automaton forever sits, its hand upon the writing desk, gently grips a fountain pen that circumscribes an arabesque, deciphering the messages encrypted by the alchemist. A handkerchief will wipe away the secrets that it keeps.
Not as pure as gold,
Captive of the scientist,
not as sharp as
he
glass,
practiced his experiment.
not as strong as
Flesh
stone.
and blood will never last.
Baby's got a heart of brass.
Floating down the Amazon, we wonder if we've gone too far.
Plunge into the whirlpool at the basin of the waterfall.
Scribbling this chronicle, the fog clouds up your monocle.
Handkerchief can stopper up our message in a bottle.
We have left it gently bobbing on the surface of the water.
As we sail into the spiral, into mystery or miracle.
Cry into your scry glass, inquire of your oracle.
Squint into your spyglass, you can see us wave farewell. Ah,
And there you have it.
there you have it.
There you have it. Well, that is almost the end of our program for tonight. I don't see any new questions in the chat, so if you have any last-minute burning desires for answers, this is your time to ask. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until next week when we will be back once again here in the Charming Disaster Quarantine live stream, hopefully with you as well.
Oh, Elia,
Oh, yes, Joe?
I think it's time to pick some kind of card.
Oh, yes. I think you're probably right.
I think it's time. I think the good people want to know what the next week will be like.
Well, we have to ask the unicorns for that information because only they really know. So I'm actually gonna shuffle the unicorn deck this time just to make sure there's no hanky going on. All right. Tell me when to stop.
Keep going. Stop.
Oh. This is the beloved unicorn. There's two of them and some butterflies who are also presumably beloved. The beloved unicorn. And the fine print says, "Prepare for your life partner. Romance is returning to your relationship. Believe you are lovable." I think those are three sort of like options for this card. So like depending on where you're at in your personal life. Prepare for your life partner. Maybe somebody's coming. Romance is returning to a relationship. Believe you are lovable. Believe you are lovable.
I think for some further clarification,
Yeah.
we need to draw the Khaled Baron Reed spirit animal.
Oh, yes. I hope that the spirit animal can give us some further clarification.
Okay. Shuffling the spirit animals. All right. Will you pick
Yeah. Up.
my thumb?
No, down. Down a little more. Okay, yeah, that one.
This one.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We have chosen the dolphin spirit.
The dolphin spirit. Oh, those dolphins, they're kind of assholes, dolphins, I gotta say.
I know they're very randy. Well,
They're kind of jerks.
maybe this goes with the
Beloved.
it's
Your
a call.
beloved is kind of a jerk.
Oh,
Well, what does it say underneath?
It says, "This and that are true."
This and that are true. That sounds like some kind of
It's mysterious.
is mysterious.
Very mysterious. It doesn't give much clarification,
It doesn't.
but just enough.
Just enough. This and that are true. Like anything.
No, just this and that.
Just this and that. All right. Well, it's like the dialectic, you know? It's like you've got like thesis, antithesis,
Yeah. Dem and D.
synthesis. Yeah, D's and do's.
Those.
Yeah, life is complex. Yeah.
That's all true.
Well, we have one last question, it looks like, which is, oh no, there's two. I'm gonna give you one.
Okay.
Chutney? chutney or compote? Chutney or compote?
I would choose chutney.
Chutney. Okay. Fair. And someone asks lipstick color. I know I ask this all the time, but I always want to know. It is NYX, which is kind of like the cheap brand, and it is the black one, which has some weird name.
Nick, like Uncle Nick?
NYX, like NYX. NYX. Yeah. Okay, Jeff, more goth or more steampunk?
This and that are true.
Good answer.
Thank you.
All right, well, we have come to the end of our program for tonight. Thank you all so much once again for being here with us. It is such a highlight of our days to come back to you every Friday and do this ridiculous show and try to bring some joy into your lives and our own through music and nonsense. Once again, we're going to share the donation links. If you're in a position to support the music that we're making and the show that we're doing here, we have a great deal of gratitude for you. And we also have, we'd like to bring up our do you want, were you going to share were you going to share the thing though? Are you going to share the...
Oh, I'm going to bring Kellfire back.
Okay.
And I will share the thing.
Okay.
I'll do it all.
All right, do it all. Yeah, do it all. Can you do it all?
Can't do anything.
All right.
Well, I admitted him into the room, but maybe he's away. But I'm going to share the donation links because maybe
There he is.
There he is.
All right. Thank you once again, Kellfire, for joining us on the show. And please, everybody, check out his show and all the cool stuff that he's doing with absinthery and theremin.
Yes. Theremin roulette.
Theremin roulette.
It's a gamble if it works.
See what you did there. All right, and thank you all so much for joining us once more. We will be back here next week for another edition of the Charming Disaster Quarantine live stream. And Jeff, would you just throw that image up for the end bit as we slide everybody?
Which image?
The donation image.
There it is.
Thank you. All right, just for the stragglers. Thank you all so much. We love you. We will see you next week. Be good. Be safe. Take care. And we love you.
Love you all.
Person, Dan.